Osio Mia Dofoto'a Jija Legi. I am Cherokee, Manahoac, and Rappahannock. As a Black and Indigenous woman, it has been complex. It's been difficult to kind of find validation within myself growing up. I mean, visually, I'm obviously Black. People will question me right on the spot. They would ask me questions like, oh, well, how much Indian blood do you have? Or are you really? Like, just interrogations. So for a while, like, especially up until high school, I just kind of stuck with being Black. I just didn't feel like being interrogated, and to the point, like, I even questioned it myself, where I thought, maybe I'm not, like, Indigenous enough to claim it. It's not an incident when people ask you how much Native blood you have. People ask that not even thinking twice what that means, but it has such a deep, dark, white supremacist history. Blood quantum, it puts a pedigree on Indigenous people, which I know we shouldn't really have to say it, but it's dehumanizing to measure one's Indigenousness by their amount of Indian blood. That's traditionally just not how tribes identified each other, and just also brings me to the one drop rule, which is something that was institutionalized by Walter Plecker, where he basically drafted and advocated for the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, which is where we get the rule that, one drop of Black blood, you're Black, just automatically. And so you combine one drop rule with blood quantum, it gives this idea that you can't be Black and Native, and it also just makes one feel that being Black is, it just, like, it takes away from your indigeneity, but just not true whatsoever. A lot of times, not only was blood quantum instilled, but anti-Black laws against mixing between Natives and Black people were outlawed, especially in Virginia. For example, the Pamunkey tribe, they had a law against the mixing of Natives with Black people. And you see that issue with Cherokee Nation as well. They, at one point, voted to disenroll all the descendants of freedmen in their nation. And for a long time, they had a rule where they said you can basically mix with white people, but you can't mix with Black people as Indigenous people as well. So again, even when we're talking about, like, mixed Natives, there's a preference for whiteness over Blackness. I really believe there's a lot more of us than is on record, just because there's that disconnection because of those laws that previously ostracized Black Natives or just kicked them out of their communities. There are times where, even in my experience in trying to learn more about my history and on my dad's side of the family, there's a mysterious amount of just, there was like a house fire, so these records are just gone. And it's just like, it's like one small thing can be just so devastating, but it also feels almost like the United States itself, the government's settler state, is on purpose making it really hard to be Native or be Black and know your past. To learn where exactly my family may have come from in Africa, it's such a long shot at this point, like, because most of my family came through, like, Jamaica, so going through that itself is already, like, there's a lot of hoops there to jump. There's this unique sense of isolation, and again, I that's what colonization and capitalism wants. It's that breaking of relationships that our communities really centered previously before in our societies. Reconnecting it's a journey. It's really hard. It's a blessing, though, to just learn where and who you come from. Again, important for Black Natives, and also eventually it's a great thing for Indigenous communities, because we want our relatives back, and we want to stay connected, no matter how far along it you are from that ancestor. Because essentially, I believe being Indigenous is not about blood, race, or genetics, but it's about lineage and community and culture.